Chronicles 19, 1-28. Devotional focus verse. Be of good courage, and let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people, and for the cities of our God, and let the Lord do that which is good in his sight. 1 Chronicles 19:13. Courage is an admirable quality. At the Battle of the Bulge during World War II, over 20,000 United States soldiers were captured. Roddie Edmonds from Knoxville, Tennessee, was among more than 1,000 non-commissioned officers who were taken to a prisoner of war camp called Stalag IX-A in Ziegenhain, Germany. As the highest-ranking non-commissioned officer of the group, Roddie was their commander. One evening, the prisoners were told that the next day, those who were Jewish were to present themselves. Roddie told his fellow prisoners that they would all stand together in formation, and they did. When the camp commandant, Major Siegmann, saw this, he was furious and said they could not all be Jews. Roddie said, "We are all Jews here." The major aimed his Luger pistol at Roddie and ordered him to have the Jewish men step forward. Roddie replied, "According to the Geneva Convention, we only have to give our name, rank, and serial number. If you shoot me, you will have to shoot all of us, and after the war, you'll be tried for war crimes." One survivor said, "Roddie wasn't even shaking, but the commandant was." Siegmann put away his gun, turned around, and walked away. Before long, the war ended and the prisoners were rescued. Roddie Edmonds died in 1985 without receiving acclaim for his courage. In February of 2015, the World Holocaust Remembrance Center in Israel recognized him as righteous among the nations, and the award was delivered to his son on January 27, 2016 in Washington, D.C. Today's text recounts a battle where Israel's army was surrounded by their enemies. In the focus verse, Joab was exhorting the warriors to have courage. It is important to note that he also encouraged them to look to God for help, and the Lord miraculously gave the victory. Maybe today you are facing a situation that requires courage. Perhaps you feel insufficient, unsure what to do, or that you lack the necessary strength. Look to God. He is the source of true courage, and he has promised to give his people help in their time of need. Background information. Today's text continues the summary of the military victories for David and Israel's armies. Chapter 19 is a parallel to 2 Samuel 10. The Ammonites were from east of the Jordan River and were longtime foes of Israel. However, at some point, Nahash, the king of Ammon, had extended kindness to David. When Nahash died, David wanted to give condolences to Hanun, Nahash's son. The princes of Ammon were suspicious of this effort, and they humiliated David's messengers by cutting off half their beards and part of their clothing. The Israelites wore full beards, and shaving off half was extremely insulting and offensive. These demeaning actions made David angry. The word odious in verse 6 means to be abhorred, and the parallel passage in 2 Samuel 10:6 says that they stank before David. Seeing war was imminent, the Ammonites spent 1,000 talents of silver to hire allies. This was an enormous amount of money, since on another occasion, 100 talents was the wage given to 100,000 warriors. See 2 Chronicles 25:6. When Joab, David's army captain, saw that Israel's warriors were between their enemies, he divided his army, putting one group under the leadership of his brother Abishai. God gave Israel the victory, and the Syrians who had been hired as mercenary forces fled. The last verse of chapter 19 says, "Neither would the Syrians help the children of Ammon anymore." Chapter 20 begins almost exactly as 2 Samuel 11. However, the writer of Chronicles did not include the account of David's sin regarding Bathsheba. This likely was because the writer was focusing on encouraging the Jews who had returned from Babylonian captivity by reminding them of how God had used David and blessed Israel under his leadership. In chapter 20, Israel was again fighting the Ammonites. Rabbah was the capital of Ammon. It consisted of two areas, a lower portion along the river and an upper fortress that protected the city. The parallel text in 2 Samuel 12:30 and 31 indicates that Joab had overcome the lower part of the city and then called for David to come for the battle against the fortress so that credit for the victory would go to David. Verses 4 through 8 of chapter 20 are a summary of conflicts with giants and their descendants. Similar information is found in 2 Samuel 21:18 through 22. Conclusion: God can provide courage in situations that seem hopeless if we look to Him.
1 Chronicles chapter 19. Now it came to pass after this, that Nahash the king of the children of Ammon died, and his son reigned in his stead. And David said, I will show kindness unto Hanun the son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness to me. And David sent messengers to comfort him concerning his father. So the servants of David came into the land of the children of Ammon to Hanun, to comfort him. But the princes of the children of Ammon said to Hanun, Thinkest thou that David doth honor thy father, that he hath sent comforters unto thee? Are not his servants come unto thee for to search, and to overthrow, and to spy out the land? Wherefore Hanun took David's servants, and shaved them, and cut off their garments in the midst hard by their buttocks, and sent them away. Then there went certain, and told David how the men were served. And he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, Tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. And when the children of Ammon saw that they had made themselves odious to David, Hanun and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire them chariots and horsemen out of Mesopotamia, and out of Syria Macha, and out of Zobah. So they hired 32,000 chariots, and the king of Makkah and his people, who came and pitched before Medeba. And the children of Ammon gathered themselves together from their cities, and came to battle. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab, and all the host of the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out, and put the battle in array before the gate of the city, and the kings that were come were by themselves in the field. Now when Joab saw that the battle was set against him before and behind, he chose out of all the choice of Israel, and put them in array against the Syrians. And the rest of the people he delivered unto the hand of Abishai his brother, and they set themselves in array against the children of Ammon. And he said, If the Syrians be too strong for me, then thou shalt help me, but if the children of Ammon be too strong for thee, then I will help thee. Be of good courage, and let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people, and for the cities of our God, and let the Lord do that which is good in his sight. So Joab and the people that were with him drew nigh before the Syrians unto the battle, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, they likewise fled before Abishai his brother, and entered into the city. Then Joab came to Jerusalem. And when the Syrians saw that they were put to the worse before Israel, they sent messengers, and drew forth the Syrians that were beyond the river, and Shophach the captain of the host of Hadarezer went before them. And it was told David, and he gathered all Israel, and passed over Jordan, and came upon them, and set the battle in array against them. So when David had put the battle in array against the Syrians, they fought with him. But the Syrians fled before Israel, and David slew of the Syrians 7,000 men which fought in chariots, and 40,000 footmen, and killed Shophach the captain of the host. And when the servants of Hadarezer saw that they were put to the worse before Israel, they made peace with David, and became his servants, neither would the Syrians help the children of Ammon any more. 1 Chronicles chapter 20. And it came to pass, that after the year was expired, at the time that kings go out to battle, Joab led forth the power of the army, and wasted the country of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah. but David tarried at Jerusalem. And Joab smote Rabbah, and destroyed it. And David took the crown of their king from off his head, and found it to weigh a talent of gold, and there were precious stones in it, and it was set upon David's head, and he brought also exceeding much spoil out of the city. And he brought out the people that were in it, and cut them with saws, and with harrows of iron, and with axes. Even so dealt David with all the cities of the children of Ammon. And David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass after this, that there arose war at Gezer with the Philistines, at which time Sibbechai the Hushathite slew Sippai, that was of the children of the giant, and they were subdued. And there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan the son of Yair slew Lahmi the brother of Goliath the Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. And yet again there was war at Gath, where was a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 24, 6 on each hand, and 6 on each foot, and he also was the son of the giant. But when he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Shimeah David's brother slew him. These were born unto the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants.